Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. Ross, introduce the guest, man.
Today we have UFC legend, author, Liverpool's finest. It's Meatball Molly McCann. Molly, how you doing?
I'm all right, lads. I feel like I'm one of the boys now with my glasses. Mine aren't the tricolour, but mine are just Tom Ford, but they'll do.
Well, I'll tell you what, Molly, we are coming over to UFC London, and we will bring you a pair of tricolour glasses.
Promise
and
me.
You can have some.
Promise me.
Promise.
Look you in
Okay,
the eye.
okay.
Promise you. You'll have a
Thank
pair of
you very
tricolour
much.
glasses. That they've already been ordered. We ordered a good batch of them. I won't tell you how many because then everyone will ask for one. But we've ordered a decent amount, so we'll keep some for a select few like yourself.
Yeah, for
Brilliant.
it's
I'll
Paddy's
take
week,
them
St.
off
Patrick's
now.
week as well, so it'd be perfect.
I know.
Yeah, and
I'm
you need them.
devastated, lads. I'm devastated because I love a bevy, but I just have to wait till after the fight, and then I can drink all the Guinness in the world.
Exactly.
Oh,
So don't miss Meatball Mania on Saturday, the 19th of March in the O2. Molly, like when your fight was announced, what was going through your head, knowing that you're going to be performing in London in front of the huge crowd?
Oh, it's just everything I've waited for a long time, lads. Like, you know, if I have a crowd, you're getting vintage Molly. I struggled in the pandemic, to be honest with you boys. I couldn't get up. I was trying, and I think you have like athletes and then you have fighters, and I think maybe an athlete can kind of just perform in any kind of environment, but maybe you're not going to get the emotion and all that kind of thing out of them. But then when you have a fighter who's there to perform, like like Paddy in our gym, even though we won in the lockdown, me and him draw off the crowd. Like, we're there for them and they're there for us. So without them, it was a bit of a struggle. But to know we're back in London, it's not home, but it's our home country. So, and to know we know a good couple of hundred people personally who are going to be there, as well as yourselves, like all the pundits, all the com teams, all the podcasts, all the media. We'll know everyone, so it will literally be looking out to what would seem like our friends all watching us just have a scrap, to be honest.
Yeah, because the last fight, Molly, for you was extraordinarily emotional. There was roars before the end of the final bell and everything. It was such a vintage Molly McCann performance. How glad were you to get those losses off your back and back on the winning track?
I fought someone who wanted to fight. Use your nose, you're a matchmaker. You think, right, how can we get our money out of Molly? I know, let's give her someone who wants to fight. The fight before, I've never turned a fight down in my life, and I don't think like we're in the position to ever do so in the UFC. You get who you're given, and you try and beat them. But the fight before last February, I was just in with someone who, the second I hit them, they didn't want to know, and they just literally held me on the cage. And I said to my coaches after that fight, like, I'm not doing this again. And the fight before was the same. I hit them, and then they just took me down. So my coaches had to be like, well, you are doing again, and what you'll do is you'll just make sure you don't get put in that position again. So instead of getting caught in a clinch and getting held against the cage or on the floor, it was like, don't fucking be there, and punish them for it. So yeah, managed to overcome a 10-inch reach advantage, which is pretty much like David and Goliath kind of gear. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was hard, and she punched me once, lads, in the do you remember the eye that I broke, my eye socket?
Yeah.
And I just remember my eye went black for about 5 seconds, like there was nothing there, and I was thinking, not this again, not this again. But then the vision came back, and it's always passed like scans and everything. It's all fine, but my career was kind of on the line, and just to have 90 fans in the octagon, in the Apex that day, made massive change. And you can see the way I interact with fans, like outside of work, and then when I do fight or they get tickets, anywhere I've ever fought in America, the crowd starts with the other girl and then finishes with me. So,
Yeah. That's
fucking-
Molly.
I
That's
love it.
that's definitely true. You're definitely one of the most loved athletes on the roster, and like the way you just say how it is, you say everything just straight off your chest, and it's very admirable as well, especially being a mixed martial artist. And like that's why like we couldn't wait to get you on the show. We're big fans, obviously.
Thank
Yeah,
you, lads.
definitely.
It's well,
Uh,
well, sorry, go
Go
on.
on, Molly. No, go on.
It's we're not playing football and we're not run by a governing body who says this is the P's and the Q's and this is what you're allowed to say and this isn't like come on the journey with us and we'll show you exactly what it is. I just don't believe, lads, that why do you want to listen to some bullshit lie? Like, you want to hear the truth. Do you know what? This week's been fucking horrible. I haven't slept. Like, the pain is killing me. The pressure's on top of me. That's the kind of stuff that fans know. We're just normal people. And I don't even like saying fans because I just don't even see myself like
They are
that.
your
I just
fans.
think,
You
like,
mad? The Meatball Army.
no, but I don't say fans. Like, I don't like it. It just makes me feel like I'm something I'm not. Just people who support me is. I feel like when you say fan, you're putting yourself on a pedestal a little bit, and I suppose they are, but I just don't like saying it.
Yeah,
I get
but I suppose, Molly, you sort of are on a pedestal, whether you choose to believe it or not, in your own way. Like if you look what you even did, even writing that book was incredible. Will there be more books?
So I was speaking to, I know one gay male fighter.
Mhm.
He's more K1 in boxing, and he's openly gay anyway. And I'd cornered him quite a few times, and I said the next book I would like to talk about, if we did another one, would be I was his coach, and I was like,
Mm.
my experience with male gay
Mm.
fighters, and I only know one, but he's just never it's never been out there, but I just think it's really important that little girls know that they're safe through the first book, and little boys should as well, but now it could be, all you're trying to start is a conversation. I'm not out here trying to force queer or LGBTQ plus on anyone. I'm just not. But I'm just trying to like start a conversation to people to be a bit like, it's actually really uncomfortable because everyone since you've been this big tells you, oh, that's gay, that or your little FAG or your little like there's just loads of derogatory terms that you get spoken about and you're told it's bad from our generation anyway, lads, do you know what I mean? It will come
Yeah.
across as that kind of thing. And I would just like conversations to be started where the MMA isn't that bad. Like in boxing, it was quite bad, you know, like the locker room talk and stuff. But I feel like progressively everyone's moving forward and positive steps are being made. And I don't want to just make my journey or just all about that kind of thing. But if it can help start a conversation, that could get things rolling. And I just feel like if my book could help one male athlete come out, and I think that would just help a lot of people because statistically, not one male is out, and statistically, I'm not like every single male fighter in the world. It's not going to be every single one's heterosexual.
Yeah, but look at it again. Like look at even the Premier League. You know what I mean? There's not one player from the Premier League.
It's just one of the It's just
It's
one
like
of them.
it's crazy, and like I think once one person steps over that line, I think a lot more people will. And look, Molly, I'll agree with you. It's not your entire story, but it's part of the story, and it's an important part of the story to tell. And it really, really is.
Yeah.
And like that's why people like put you on this pedestal, because there's that, and then there's your actual fighting ability, and then there's the heart that you show through everything you do. Like you seem like someone who wears their heart on the sleeve at all times, and that's what draws people to you. That's what makes people Meatball Molly McCann fans, whether you like it or not. That's what they are, and that's why I'm a fan of yours. I'm just like, no matter what that girl does, like she gives it her all. That's
If
why you can't miss her.
having a pint, if I'm having a pint, if I'm eating, or if I'm in training, or if I'm watching the match, I give me absolute all. Do you know what I mean? So you've got me there, but it's not easy, being honest and being who you are. Like you're leaving yourself open to criticism, and you're leaving yourself open for people to constantly put the 2p in, or it's emotionally draining, being honest, because you're honest to everyone. So, but at the end of the day, I can put my head down on the pillow now, and I'm my true self, and I'm not lying. Do you know what I mean? And my
No,
nose
exactly.
looks like it's took a fucking punch today.
Yeah,
Jesus,
it's
it's
not.
off on the angle.
Ah, no, you're
It's not.
still
It's not as
gorgeous,
bad as
Molly.
mine. It's not as bad as mine. But Molly, that's why we just ourselves. We obviously got you on, and we're going to be doing an exclusive part with UFC Fight Pass after this. So people who are on UFC Fight Pass, make sure to check that out. That's going to be out now. But we were asked by the UFC like to focus on the European scene, and they're like, we want you to get people on and raise them, and like we were like, right, Molly McCann is definitely another person we want on, more people to know, because like what you are doing is brilliant, and like certain people, they go compete and then they just go into hibernation, but like you're doing stuff outside, you're writing books, you're obviously training with Next Gen, like we have a massive affiliation with them, big fans of the team, and like it's just what you're doing is incredible for future athletes, male or female.
Yeah,
Check out
I
Paul Rimmer. I
mean,
think it's his birthday, isn't it?
yeah, shout out Rimsky. He's just taught me then, and then he's just gone for some food. But I think since that last fight, I think, like, obviously I come from boxing, so I've been at every boxing show near enough, whether it's been Sky and Boxer, or whether it's been with Eddie and the Matchroom and DAZN guys. Like, my life is fighting, my life is football, and well, combat sport. It's like, it is UFC, it is the promotion that begins with a B, it is Cage Warriors, it is any boxing I can get my hands on. And I think what I've really tried to do the last few years is, anyone who's getting up there in the boxing especially, and in the MMA, is give them like a go and support them, and help raise profile and community for all women supporting each other, because it can be a hard place sometimes. Do you know what I mean? And like, I've got what's her name? Something Bannon. What's her name? Her name's just gone. Shauna. Shauna's coming. Shauna's coming over to train with me next week. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Shauna's
we're
a
all
future
having
star. Shauna's a future star to definitely watch out for people who are unaware, Shauna.
Yeah, well, they'll see it on my Instagram next week. But I thought,
The
right,
cat's out the bag.
who can kick my head in? I know, Shauna. I've got Dakota. I've got Dakota over here in Manchester, and I've got Shauna just in Dublin. So I thought, oh, she actually messaged me, and I said, get over here, come on.
Yeah, she's definitely one to watch out for. You're also talking about boxing there. Like, we saw a viral clip of yourself. You received Katie Taylor's, was it a jacket or a hoodie?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, like, we'd done a bit of research, and I done my family tree, and it goes back to, like, my nan is her mum's auntie, or like our bloodline is like second cousins, I think. Or so, I only found this out not so long ago. So anytime I've ever been able to meet her, it's the maddest thing, because I walked into a boxing gym, and the first gym I ever fought out of was called Golden Gloves ABC, and Kev Smith was my coach, and he goes, 2006, this is, he goes, right, I want you to box like this girl, I've just been away with England, and look, and we had like this, what's it called, like a camcorder, he pulled the side out, and it was Katie hitting pads with Pete, and I was like, oh my God, this girl, like, I just want to be like her, Anyway, she goes on to gets the boxing added to the Olympics, and she turns over pro, blah blah blah. And I was at where was I? I was at the Arnold's. Do you know the Arnold?
The classics.
That's the one.
But the Expo.
No, the Expo.
Yeah.
And I'm on the EMMA board, so the English MMA Association board. So I'm watching, overseeing. She just comes and stands next to me, and I was like, oh my God. I started doing fucking lads. I started going. I'd been up out on the A-Law the night before, and then I looked to me right, and like, me lifelong hero, who I just found out was family blood stood next to me, and I was like, oh my God. And then we just got this little chat, and she got into the cage, and I was speaking to her mum, and I was just like, Maria Cranley's me nan. She's like, oh my God. She was like, Katie, listen to this. And then it was just a madness. And she's just so gracious and so humble. And her mum said, just always keep in touch on the socials and stuff. And I thought, you know what, after fighting, when we're done, I'll really try and create like a relationship there if she would ever want one and the family would want one. Lads, I've got my family crest tattooed to the back of my leg. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm proud. All our family comes from County Wicklow and Bray. Like, I couldn't be any more prouder for my dual heritage. But it just blew me away. And then when she came over here, they didn't know I was going to be there. But I was at the open workout, but they didn't see. And then I came to the weigh-ins because I knew loads of, like, the Northern Irish was on the card as well. And Keevan was on, I think his name is. And what's it called? I just went, go on, Katie, like that. And I didn't realise, but she looked at me and smiled. And then her mum just came over and gave me the jacket. And it's a madness to think everything that I do is probably a massive influence, like majorly influenced through her. And just to be in her presence and be lucky enough to be in the era of watching her fight for female, that's our Muhammad Ali. Without being as controversial, do you know what I mean? Because the times are different for him, but she is that for us. So I just started crying because I was just like,
yeah. That was a very touching moment when we saw that as well. Like, and we're two massive Katie Taylor fans as well.
Yeah. Our favorite fighter. She's Ireland's sweetheart. She really, really is. Like, there's not a person in the country who doesn't love her. Like, you can't not love her. She's
and we can't wait to see her compete on the 30th of April against Amanda Serrano in Madison Square Garden. You are going, yeah. That's one thing we're trying to get sorted as well. But like, that must be unbelievable for yourself, Molly. Like, coming from boxing and now seeing these two women go head to head in Madison Square Garden. That must be unbelievable.
Listen, I'm a nerd. I watch every press conference, every single thing I can find. So I was like, I had my headphones in, like, hoovering the other day, listening to the press conference, and then Amanda was like, "Why not, Katie? Let's just do 12 threes." And then Katie's like, "No," and I was like, "Oh!"
Yeah.
Like, I thought she would have just passed the question on. She doesn't want to fight the 12 threes, granted, whatever. And I was just like, I've never seen that side of Katie before. I've never seen. She's normally quick and she can divert questions and this, that, and the other. And she's just like, no, we're doing enough anyway. Like, I'm not changing. And part of me thought, fucking go on, you stick to your guns.
Yeah.
And then the other part of me thought, oh, is she shocked? Like, what? Like, but I just think that's brilliant because it's going to get everyone talking. Everyone I'm lucky enough that my boxing coaches are Beefy's, what's it called? Liam Beefy Smith's coaches. So Beefy's, like, I think co-main or on the main card of that. So I'm out there. I'll be with all the Smith brothers, and it's just going to be a weekend of mayhem. The Irish and the Scousers are just going to take over Madison Square Garden.
We'll give you the pair of glasses. We'll give you the pair of glasses at UFC London, and then you can have them for the Katie Taylor fight as well.
Yeah, be sat there front row like this.
And Molly, just to bring it back to London, March 19th, what do you know about Luana Carolina, and what are you expecting her to bring to the table?
So, like everyone knows, every weekend I watch the fight, and so even out of camp, if I go and have a nail, when I'll be over 1 o'clock to make sure to start watching the main card and that kind of thing. So I've seen every one of her fights before I even knew I was fighting her. Stylistically tricky opponent, terms of southpaw and unconventional. She likes to have a go, so it's everything I'd ever want. Someone once put a tweet out saying UFC London, Molly versed an unranked Brazilian, speaks for itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, Brazilians are a bit, the Irish, the Scousers, the Mexicans, the Brazilians, we all have a similar fighting style, and sometimes it's a bit too honest. So this time is about me just literally being an absolute technician and looking to finish the fight, and he giving me the finish, not me going hunting for it, because still there's quite a bit of a range difference. I'm always going to be as tall as I am wide and the littlest reach in the whole of the UFC, so I have to make that work for me. But the good thing about me boxing coaches is they say, fight like Mike Tyson. You make the big fighters fight small. and then it's easy night. It's an easy night out with.
I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see it. And when we get over to London, we'll have a word with Dana White and say you can't separate the greatest tag team in UFC history. Meatball Molly McCann and Paddy the Baddy Pimna have to fight on every single card going forward together.
You've seen it from Cage Warriors. I think me and Patrick have fought on about 5 cards together.
Patrick, that's a new one. I've never heard someone refer to him as Patrick before.
Oh, I never call him Paddy. I only ever call him Patrick. Yeah, me and Patrick. But what's it called? Like, I'm not to his level, and I don't say stuff as out there as what he does. But when you just want someone to leave everything that they can in the cage, and you want a fucking good walkout, look no further than the 2 kids from Next Gen.
Exactly. Ross, we're going to have to wrap it up there because we're going to have to move on to the Get to Know with the Energized show, part of the show on UFC Fight Pass. So we're going to wrap up this part here. Molly, is there anyone else, anything you want to say to the Energized Nation checking out the show here, or or anyone just before we wrap this part of the show up?
Yeah, just thanks for the tweets, gang. Thanks for the love on the Insta. It's been night and day. Like since the last fight, I've probably only had literally two messages off trolls, and we're going like 5 months. So that's fucking, you're winning. To anyone who couldn't get tickets, I'm so fucking sorry, but I will be doing a pub crawl of the UK and Ireland. So I'll see you in a bar soon.
A shoey in every pub. A shoey Guinness in every pub. Perfect.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, I love it. The bevvies will be flown.
Crack the E. What did he say?
Split the G. Split the G.
Split the G. Something I don't know. I'm just like that. Womp. So yeah, I'll split the G with you soon.
I love it. Guys, thanks a million for watching. If you did enjoy this, make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notifications for more Energized shows. And as always, stay energized.
Stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.